Welcome back to Coffee with Yvonne, a show for creatives and entrepreneurs. I'm Yvonne Pearson, your host, and darling, the founder. Clock it. The founder of Pink Dollhouse Marketing. And you know what? I'm back from my little Euro vacay. That's why you got 2 episodes last week that were from the Coffee with Yvonne archives, because I didn't want to leave y'all hanging, even though I was gallivanting in Europe. I'm starting to really like saying that I've been in Europe. What is this, my 4th time? That's real cute for me, isn't it? Don't you love that for us? I do. So, just to catch you up real quick before we get into our marketing magic episode, in which we talk about all things marketing and dive a little bit deeper into those campaigns you may have seen on social media or come across your timeline. When I went to Europe, we were celebrating mom's retirement after 45 years of federal service. Okay, in the federal government. Without getting too much into it, mom had to retire this year. Please take my silence and my sip of my coffee as the reason for why she had to retire. But since she wasn't able to get an official send off, this trip to Europe was centered around celebrating her. So we hit up, keep track, we hit up Amsterdam, Brussels, Ghent, Brugge, and then of course I did the Google Maps. I had to go back to Paris. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. So we did 3 countries in 5 cities in 6 days. What I really love about this trip, I got a chance to explore 2 new countries I've never been to, which are the Netherlands and Belgium, and also had a chance to see one of my creative friends, which I have not seen in quite a while, but we keep in touch on social media. She's also been on the pod too, Jessica Vendop de Jesus of The Dining Traveler. She now lives over in Brussels with her husband and their daughter and has since moved back. I think has been over almost 10 years. Yeah, it's been a hot minute. She over there. But we went over to their house one night and she cooked us an amazing 4-course dinner, which was such a delight to have and a chance to really catch up in real life. And also what I loved about the country, both Amsterdam and Belgium, is it wasn't just like feeling like, okay, you're at another European destination, right? A lot of times, well, especially when I was in Brussels, I had a question, did I leave the United States? Because there are many similarities. There are many similarities. There was one moment, and again, I promise you, we will get into the marketing magic topics. But there was one moment where we were riding through, and I could have sworn I was in the 3rd Street Tunnel. And if you're from the DMV, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I could have sworn I was in the 3rd Street Tunnel. I could have sworn I was a couple other places like, Georgetown, Union Market kind of vibes when we were riding through. What I really loved about Amsterdam is how they really embrace sustainability. The way we see cars around here in the US, specifically in like city areas like DC, New York, Philly, are the way they ride bikes. I lie to you not, you had to not only look for the cars, but look for the bicycles because there was a very large chance you could get hit by both. And it was a couple times I had to be like, wait a minute, that bike looked like it's going kind of fast. I think I should wait for the little green man to come up before I cross the street, if you get what I'm saying. Last but not least, one of the things I loved about having this experience, I got to share it with mom, and she got a chance to experience 2 new countries herself. We definitely leaned into public transportation. We took the Amsterdam subway system there. We didn't get a chance to take it in Brussels, so we took more, taxis through the local system, which is like Bolt. It's their version of Uber, to give you an idea, or walked. But in Paris, I ended up, y'all, just breaking down and getting a permanent pass. Yes, I got a smart chip card in France. Because why not? Why not at this point? It was my 3rd time in Paris. And, I'm already plotting my return anyway. So I was like, you know what? Let's just make the investment. And that's what we did. So the entire day for 12 euros, we rode all around the city of Paris and got a chance to see some things like Notre Dame that we didn't see on our first, or I didn't even see it on my second visit. And also just got a chance to just, explore the city without a plan and just vibe. More importantly, it's a great chance to have this memory with my mom and, of course, go back to one of the places I love, which is Europe. And also see things like castles. Okay. The castles. specifically in Bruges and Ghent. And Bruges and Ghent, just to give an idea, outside of Belgium, it's about roughly 45 minutes to like an hour and some change. So it's not even very far. You guys, there were real castles. Like, I had to keep everything in me from singing the intro to Beauty and the Beast. You know that song? Okay. Little town, it's a quiet village. Sing along, but not too loud. Very something something like the one before. Little town full of little people waking up to say bonjour. Like, it took everything in me not to do that. Also took everything in me not to do a Game of Thrones monologue in the middle of the town square. I did keep myself from doing that because I think I would have taken it too far at that moment. But that's not why we're here. We are here to do our marketing magic episode. So this week for the topics, we're gonna keep it black girl magic focused. Yeah, let's do that for this week. For our topics, we're gonna talk about from hair to high tech, how Halo Braid is changing the game, sipping on curiosity, how Tyra Banks, the queen of smize, and we were ready for you. We were all ready for you. Got everyone talking. Beauty, legacy, and influence. Nia Long joins Estée Lauder is our final story. So grab your coffee and hopefully you get very entertained by me and let's chat. That's good, Yvonne. That's good. You know, and so many of you guys asked me about this mug. Okay, this mug is not sold anywhere. Honestly, I made this mug. This is a prototype specifically for Coffee with Yvonne. There are other iterations that exist that I have gifted to people who have been on my show or just have gifted in general because mom requested one of her own. But in general, you cannot get this mug anywhere. I have thought about, making this a thing and actually like creating like as a limited edition product, but that requires a lot of legwork, which right now between grad school, working full time, and being a content creator girly on the side, we just don't have. But we can add it to 2026 lists. We can add it and see. Okay, so for our first story, let's talk about it. From hair to high tech, how Halo Braid is changing the game. I got this from people of color in tech, and if you see me looking down at my screen, I'm going to break the third wall or is it the fourth wall? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to break it for 1 second. If you see me looking down at my screen, it's because I bring notes to the conversation. So this came from people of color in tech, and to read a quick blurb from the source, a hair braiding robot, I know that's right. A hair braiding robot invented by a startup has won Harvard's Innovation Lab competition. Harvard Business School inventors Yinka Ogunbiyi and David Afolabi, the creators of Halo Braid, aim to have braiding time, which means cut it in half. With their innovative braiding robot, they hope to help both braiders and clients save time and money, making the process faster and more efficient. Because let me tell you something. Real quick before we get into the marketing takeaways. As someone who gets their hair braided a few times a year, I'm currently wearing cornrows because who was packing all them hair care products? No one. I am a carry-on baddie. I don't do that. But as someone who gets their hair braided, it can be either your entire day or a few hours. I literally at this point pack snacks when I get my hair braided because I don't know what I'm going to get. I don't know what I'm going to get. But they ended up winning the 2025 Innovation Challenge that was hosted at Harvard and beat out 13 schools to showcase their groundbreaking ideas. This is really cool because braiding is an ancient art. We know it in the culture, of course. Getting your hair braided is a time-honored tradition. Whether you did it in the kitchen, sitting in the chair, or you did it in the living room while your mama did her Sunday prep, to get you ready for school, getting your hair braided is a time-honored tradition in the culture and also in other cultures as well. But speaking from my lens, it is something that as a Black woman is part of your, coming of age as like a little girl, getting 2 little plaits, the little beads at the end. I begged my mama for the Serena and Venus beads so bad, only to have them end up in broken pieces on the playground, which, sorry, mama, but hey, I wanted the trend. It was cool. to now where we use it as protective styles, and braids have removed that stigma of being unprofessional. You can wear braids whether you're in the boardroom, you can wear braids whether in the corporate space, or you are a content creator girly. Showing up as yourself is more important, and showing up authentically is important as well when it comes to our hair. So when it comes to those marketing takeaways, let's talk about the first one, right? Leaning into authenticity and lived experience. Don't fake it. For Yinka, the founder, she knows this world because she has lived it. As I shared before, braiding your hair, seeing the frustration, that makes her story authentic. And in marketing, authentic is essentially like rocket fuel, right? You can't fake authenticity. The same way you see me on the screen right now, I'm telling y'all, this is who I am in real life. I cannot fake who I am. Yinka, by deciding to create this braiding robot, brought the authenticity of her personal story into this invention. Also, people buy connections as much as they buy products. When your audience feels that you truly understand their world, your message doesn't just land, it sticks. More importantly, that's why the idea and the story behind Halo Braid is so relevant and resonant with this audience. It feels real, it feels personal, it feels relatable. Think about businesses that start like hair braiding businesses and may want to hire more staff but cannot find, the staff to fill those positions. They may want to extend their hours, but have to be mindful that, braiding is hard on the hands, it's hard on the feet, it's hard on the body. An average time that I spend in a chair getting my hair braided, minimum I could spend is, sometimes I'll be there for like 2 hours minimum, because you have to get your hair. Well, my hairstylist acts like a real hairstylist, but I'm not going to go there. But you have to get your hair washed, detangle, all the things. And that's just for a simple feeder style like this one. For something more complex like micro individual braids, faux locks, that could be 4+ hours of your entire day, depending on the complexity of the style. That could be very hard on the hands of the hairstylist. And also, sometimes you want to speed up the process because demand for certain protective styles does increase during the summer months, because we all be outside. We be on vacation, we be trying to look cute, and we don't want to have to, worry about having to do our hair while we're enjoying these activities. And then finally, in that first marketing takeaway, don't forget, you're not just building a brand, you're also building a brand and selling a product. You have to show that you've been in the trenches. You have to show that, you're not just creating this just to make money off of it. This is part of who you are and your authentic story. Share the lived experience, because that is how trust is built. In our second marketing takeaway, let's talk about show it in action. Let the visuals do the talking. You are the visuals. I just had to do that. Beyonce. Sidebar, are we going to get the Cowboy Carter visuals in time for Christmas? In time for the ho 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 holla yas? Are we going to get it? Because I would like to relive my Cowboy Carter experience. Just give me the visuals. Give me something. So, in that second marketing takeaway, let's talk about Halo Braid's secret weapon. It was showcasing their product in action. That, to me, is pure marketing magic. Don't just talk about the robot and talk about the concept itself. Show what the robot can actually do. Especially considering now that we have entered our AI era. Can we call it an AI era? Because technically we in it. We are in the AI era. Our AI and robot era has now increased, in which robots are going to start being part of our daily life. And before y'all started saying, nah, I'm not going to have a robot part of my daily life, you do have a phone, right? You got a smartphone. I'm not going to trigger mine because that's going to interrupt this recording, but you know who you need to talk to in case you need something done. Don't you also have an Alexa in your house? Don't you also have things like, the cordless robot that's around to sweep and clean your floors? We've been with robots for a while, just a little mini versions, We don't have, what was that one off the Jetson? What was her name? What was her? Was it Rudy? Ruby? Rosie was our girl. We don't have a Rosie yet. But in the very near future, that could be much of a possibility that we will see interaction and engagement with robots in our day-to-day life. More importantly, that demo is worth 1,000 posts, 1,000,000 words, and endless Instagram stories or content. When people see that, the first thing that they do is pull out their phones. They're pulling out their phones to capture this excitement, to capture this moment in technology and innovation that you cannot replay again. Even if you want to do it through a video to try to build it, it's nothing like experiencing something that innovative for the first time and seeing what it can do. It's kind of like how when the iPhone first rolled out. Very early in the days, kids gather around. There were days that we only had one camera on our phone. We didn't have a front or a back. We were taking selfies like this, like this. But during the days of the early innovation of Apple, it was a worldwide event to see what Apple rolled out with, to see what they did, what they created. Essentially, what Halo Braid is doing is building on the excitement of that innovation that we've seen with products like Apple. What I would love to see too is, as this continues to build in the social and digital spaces, more of that content around a braiding robot, more of that content around the robot doing complex hairstyles, but also tying in how this will help the industry and not harm the industry. And finally, in that final marketing takeaway, let's talk about combination innovation with relatability. Don't scare your audience. Halo's braid is futuristic, but it doesn't feel out of reach, like I mentioned a bit before. It is high tech without being intimidating. If your innovation feels, say, too complex, people will tune out. Halo Braid struck a balance. They made something revolutionary feel practical, helpful, and relevant. As marketers, it is our goal is not to impress people with jargon and using fancy schmancy words. It's to inspire, it's to relate, it's to make the solution feel achievable. What Halo Braid is doing is presenting a solution to a potential problem. This braiding robot can help to solve that problem, and over time, we may see more innovation around this in other spaces within the hair care and beauty space. Okay, in our next story, let's talk about Miss Tyra Banks, aka the Queen of Smiles. First of all, Tyra, if we can we walk down memory lane, and again, Gen Z, I'm so sorry, but I know you've seen the clips. Top model, wasn't that a time before we learned it was a time? But wasn't that a time for us on television? Miss J, learn how to walk in heels, learn how to do that turn. That point that point turn that we all learned how to do. Tyra Banks has been around since I was a little girl. She has been modeling since the early 90s and was definitely one of the pioneers during that era, along with like Cindy Crawford and others. She has really rebranded herself outside of the modeling space. Of course, if you did not know, Tyra Banks had America's Next Top Model that she created. She also wrote a series of books about the modeling world and has had other business ventures in the modeling, fashion, and creative spaces. This time, her ice cream business has really taken off. The flagship location she opened down under in Australia, but she's bringing that concept to the States through this new product. So, in this story, Sipping on Curiosity, How Tyra Banks Got Everyone Talking, I got this from Afrotech. In a blurb from the source, Tyra Banks is introducing her hot mama, hot ice cream, to the United States with the desserts debut planned in New York City this winter. Very smart, by the way, because it's the holidays, hot chocolate, hot drinks. I see the connection. The product, part of Banks' Smiles and Dream ice cream brand, was first released in Australia late September. Unlike traditional ice cream, Hot Mama is served warm and designed to be sipped rather than scooped. So let's get into those marketing takeaways. Let's first talk about how to leverage curiosity. Yvonne, you could talk. It's these braces, y'all. I'm getting them tightened tomorrow. I'm getting them tightened. How to leverage curiosity to drive engagement. Tyra Banks introducing hot ice cream is a concept that immediately makes people go, "Excuse me? Hot what? Ice cream not supposed to be hot. We drink hot chocolate. We don't drink hot ice cream." But this unexpected twist on a familiar product turns in curiosity, like on social media, into different conversations around what could this product mean in terms of like taste, flavor, consistency, and what she has planned for the launch. It taps into our natural desire to understand something new that's also very surprising. By creating a product that defies these expectations, you see organic social media, like I mentioned before, but that's free PR, free engagement, and free social media buzz for Tyra and her Smiles and Dream product. For marketers, this is a reminder that sometimes the best campaigns don't just explain a product, they create a puzzle that you want to solve. That buzzworthiness that she's creating will then make people curious to get in line to experience this in New York City when it drops this winter. Next up, let's talk about bold storytelling to make your product memorable. Tyra Banks didn't just launch ice cream, she told a story. Storytelling and marketing. Can I talk to y'all for a second? I love a good story. When it comes to campaign, I love a good cohesive story from start to finish. Anyone who knows me knows that cohesive storytelling is something I always look out for when it comes to marketing campaigns. Like we talked about in an earlier episode about Cardi B's album rollout, she told a very consistent story from start to finish. A story can help not only build buzz but move that product. And Tyra Banks, in launching this ice cream, telling the story, she told the concept of hot ice cream in a playful, provocative name, Hot Mama. This element sparks conversation and imagination. The storytelling also turned that simple product into an experience that people remember, they want to talk about, and then they also want to share, whether that's on digital platforms or through in-person engagement and conversations. More importantly, marketing isn't just about features. It's about creating a narrative that sticks in people's minds. By crafting a product story that surprises and delights, or even confuses, because that can happen, in a fun way to make your brand top of mind, that can also help drive those sales and also in-person interaction with your product in the market and the people that you're trying to reach, whether it's now or later after people have seen it on their social media feed of folks reacting to your product and brand. Okay, in our final story, let's talk about Miss Nia Long, Miss 90s Fine. Nia Long. Okay, face card never declines. My God, because she's still gorgeous. She's still gorgeous. And when we say 90s Fine, go ahead and look it up. There's an element about women who were those starlets in the 90s, or just were like, that girl during that time period. It was the face card, it was the style, it was the aura. But Nia Long has been named as the brand ambassador for Estee Lauder. So in our final story where we talk about this, a beauty, legacy, and influence, Nia Long joins Estee Lauder. I got this from Essence. I really did see it first, y'all, on my social media feed. But to dig a bit more, I went to Essence and saw their article, as well as I went to esteelauder.com to see the official press release announcement. To pull a blurb from the source, the Brooklyn native and cultural icon is continuing her aspirational streak as Estee Lauder's first ever brand ambassador for North America, marking a major moment in both her career and the brand's history. Her debut campaign, which is set to roll out across TV, digital, and print, will spotlight the brand's most beloved products like the Advanced Night Repair Serum and the Double Wear Stay in Place Foundation, which Long counts as amongst her daily essentials. So let's get into those marketing takeaways. First, let's talk about how this aligns with authentic multidimensional influencers. Estee Lauder didn't just pick a celebrity. They chose someone who their career as well as their personal brand naturally align with the company's values. Nia Long's diverse body of work, from being a 90s baddie, from movies, television, all the things that she has done in her career, that demonstrates the authenticity, that demonstrates sophistication and relatability. Estee Lauder has, struggled a bit in finding their placement recently in the market, trying to figure out how to talk to these younger consumers, when in reality, they should have just been tapping into what they know already. They are a timeless brand that's known for great products. I use Estee Lauder. I swear by their Night Repair Serum. I also love their eye cream as well. They are known for a product that has a heritage behind it. It's not some fly-by-night brand that's just going to be popular today and gone tomorrow. They have the proof in the pudding as well as their formula. Leaning into Nia Long further helps to elevate that and solidify that placement in the market. Instead of just trying to talk to Gen Z consumers, they're talking to people who have a desire to use their products right now. As a millennial who I'm 38 years old, skincare products have changed for me. I can't use the same products that, Gen Z or Gen Alpha, who are leaning into skincare at their age range, are using. My skin has different needs. Brands like Estee Lauder, as well as Lancome, I've found to be products that really work for me and my current needs right now. So you have millennials, you also have Gen X who are looking to have those skincare regimes to help them feel more youthful, or maybe like do some more like, plumpness in the skin, look less tired. Because, a lot of us corporate girlies, we try to look awake, but some days we just a little tired. But the products that they offer help to bring that while still elevating a natural beauty. More importantly, in marketing, authenticity resonates more than celebrity alone. Partnering with influencers and ambassadors who they reflect your brand's identity strengthens that credibility, and it strengthens and builds emotional connections. Estee Lauder is a bit more on the premium product end of skincare. It's not as like expensive as who is it that I put that jar down expeditiously? But Estee Lauder can be a bit pricey depending on your perception of price point. I, however, see the value in it because the product and the formula is more concentrated, meaning I don't need a lot to do what it needs to do in terms of working. That also puts value to me because I know when I purchase a product from Estee Lauder, it's going to last. It's not just going to be something that after a couple of weeks, I need to go and replenish it. It's going to last me. Sometimes I've used the product, I've had it up to like 4 to 6 months before I had to go out and get another bottle. For the second marketing takeaway, let's talk about how this is going to leverage legacy and storytelling and brand positioning. By connecting Nia Long to this legacy, the brand bridges heritage and modern relevance. Storytelling, again, is not just about the present, it's about showing continuity and evolution. Marketing campaigns that incorporate the legacy philosophy of a founder's vision can make brands feel timeless and trustworthy. Like I mentioned before, Estee Lauder is a heritage brand that has been around for quite some time. We know who Estee Lauder is. We know what products that they create and why they still have staying power in the market. While again, they have struggled to reach darn braces, reach that Gen Z audience. Estee Lauder, what I'm hoping is happening right now, is pivoting away from making them their complete focus. They're looking at who their customer is and who they need to be talking to. When consumers understand the why behind a brand, its values, and its heritage, they're more likely to engage and emotionally with the product because they're seeing themselves reflected in the screen. More importantly, they are more likely to remain loyal. And in our final marketing takeaway, strategic representation matters. Now, I'm not going to cap you. I'm not going to cap you. Seeing Estee Lauder choose Nia Long, I was like, okay, Black Girl Magic. Okay, I like to see it. Someone who is a beautiful Black woman who embraces aging and is also timeless is very important. Outside of the obvious representation of her being a Black woman, it was really great for me to see someone who could be my cool aunt, right? Who is embracing the beauty of her age. Because I think now, to be honest with you, audience, there's so much talk about, ageless beauty, of trying to like not look as old as you are, but embracing your age, embracing that wisdom that comes with it. There's something amazing behind that as well. I really think people like Nia Long, who has been around since, again, the 90s, represents that in a positive way. She doesn't shy away that she's I think she's in her mid 50s, I believe, but she doesn't shy away the fact that she's in her 50s. She's not ashamed, to show the fact that she has wrinkles on her skin and it's still a beauty nonetheless. I think this campaign itself is a very smart move for Estee Lauder, because not only can they reach a younger audience and showing that it's okay to grow older, because the moment y'all keep calling us old, millennials are not old. You just have not lived yet. Okay? But there's something amazing about leaning into the fact that when you grow older with grace, your beauty is timeless. And more importantly, her being that brand ambassador signals that inclusivity, again, that representation, and showing that the brand values those diverse experiences and those beauty standards. It strengthens the brand's relevance in a multicultural market. And finally, it's a representation as a strategic advantage. Thoughtful ambassador choices send powerful signals about who your brand values and who it speaks to, fostering that connection and that loyalty across diverse audiences. Okay, I hope you enjoyed today's chat. Again, I know I, kind of left y'all for a little bit while I was on my little Euro trip for a week. It was lovely though. I tried to bring y'all back some food, but I ate it. I ate it. But I hope you enjoyed today's chat. Don't forget to follow Coffee with Yvonne on Instagram and Threads at Coffee with Yvonne. For my personal account, you can see me cutting up in real life and my recaps about my trip and the things when I'm not talking to you on the pod. Go ahead and find me on Instagram and TikTok, aka the Clock app, at Yvonne_creative marketer. To learn more about me and my business, you can go ahead and find pinkdollhousemarketing.com, or you can check out my business page on Instagram at pinkdollhousemarketing. You can slide into my DMs. That's cool. And creatives, I know I say this each and every week. Please remember to keep showing up, keep creating, and that your voice matters. I cannot wait to chat with you soon on Coffee with Yvonne. Okay, bye! Oh, I need to go watch Love is Blind. I gotta catch up. Coffee with Yvonne is produced and edited by Yvonne Pearson. Coffee with Yvonne is created by Pink Dollhouse Marketing. You can catch the latest episodes by subscribing to Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.